Oop. Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Circuit de Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix for round number 5 of Season 6 of SRL. Today we have Tier 1 live on Twitch, and it looks very sunny in just outside Barcelona for today's Grand Prix. And joining me in the commentary box, as always, is Mr. James. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well tonight. Been a long day, but hopefully this will make it just a little bit better. A bit of action around this Spanish Grand Prix. Got to be kind of cautious in the approach. I don't want to get political on this, but it is the Spanish Grand Prix. But for all you eagle-eyed viewers, you'd find that we're in Barcelona or Catalonia, which would make it technically, if they it's technically the Catalan Grand Prix. But anyway, we'll go over the Spanish Grand Prix for this purpose and this sake alone. But I'm unaware of the Baku results, so I don't know whether you've got any updates. Well, if you know any of the results from Baku, Ollie, but I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm kind of going into this pretty, just head first, not really knowing what to expect. Let's put it that way.
Well, Tom's got a hat trick of wins. So Bahrain, China, and Azerbaijan. He won with LK in second, and Melanie getting on the podium once again. Of course, it was Bosley doing the commentary, and I think he did a great job from what I gathered on social media. So thank you for him. He will be racing tomorrow, actually, with myself in Tier 2. So you can catch that action tomorrow as well at 7 o'clock for tomorrow. But yeah, here we're in, like I said, James, we're in Spain or Catalonia, whatever people want to call it. And just guys just starting their laps. And I reckon we're going to see sort of 17.5s, 18s around here. Hopefully, I know there's only 10 drivers, but hopefully we have a good race. We only had 11 at China, James, and that was one of the best races I've ever commentated over. So
yeah.
If the guys can do it again, that would be great.
Yeah, China was a pretty intense race. It wasn't the front. Let's not forget that. It wasn't the front few cars weren't really close. They were at one point, but not throughout a lot of that race. A lot of the race was kind of Drawmaster, and I think it was one of the Haas cars, and it was either Pitrimato or Most Ronin. Can't remember which, but anyway,
both, wasn't it?
It probably was both. But to be fair, Drawmaster, that was one of the most ballsy races I've ever seen. Like, there's some of the moves that guy was going for. I was just on the edge of my seat the whole way. And we're getting the first few laps coming through now with Height going fastest with a 1:19.0. A few invalidations, I think, will probably come around this circuit. It seems that there are opportunities to cut corners, but of course, don't really want to see it. You may well see it. Then Most Ronin just goes and beats that with an 18.8. So we are already getting some nice times on the board. Everyone should score points today, and I think also, I'll carry on for a little second. These 10 drivers that we've got here today, I don't want to be biased or anything like that, but they're probably the 10 best in this tier. So if that's anything to go by, then again, we could be in for a pretty good race. Although, having said that, someone's already retired. So that's Ben JP. Not a great start for him.
Ben JP already retired from the session. Not ideal. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we've just got Melanie's gone pole by 0.2 of a second over Most Ronin. Drawmaster, Tom and Hayden yet to set a lap. Let's see where they are on track. Thomas coming through the final chicane, which was implemented. Oh no, he's not going to do that. He's going to come straight into the pits and ruin my commentary there. But yeah, coming into the pits first. James, any guesses when the first Spanish Grand Prix was held here in Catalonia?
In Catalonia? Oh, I should know this. I feel like it was late 80s, early 90s. I think 91. 91.
Yes, correct. That's right.
Oh, there you go. So you guys, you thought you had me in abundance. No, I knew that. To be honest, it was a total guess, but no one should ever know.
Yeah. Just looking at the chat, we've got Bosley, Rampage. Vapid's been timed out for 600 seconds from Bosley, so thank you for that, Bosley. But yeah, let us know your predictions in the chat. Let us know what you've been up to today as well on this sunny Thursday. It's been sunny down south of England, and hopefully everybody else has a great day today. Just before the weekend starts tomorrow, of course. I sound like a radio DJ.
You did. Do I was going to say that. It's BBC, whatever, BBC something.
Maybe that's the next goal. Don't bother do engineering, just be a radio DJ.
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. Try and do. Yeah, it's not easy. I've tried. I've not tried. Yeah, I guess I've tried. Yeah, it's not easy. But roll over from that. Yeah, Spanish Grand Prix. Well, as everyone's in the pits, let's give you a kind of rundown. I mean, this is a track that always comes and falls on around my birthday. Brilliant stat, I know. But the other things I want to go on about it, you know, sensational battles we've had in real life F1 down the years around this circuit. Actually, something that's caught my attention a lot sooner than that, though, is the gap between Drawmaster and Melanie. 0.003 of a second between the top two. The Renault and the McLaren. The Renault. Melanie's in a Toro Rosso. Yes, he is. He's in a Toro Rosso. So, yeah, 0.003 of a second. That's not a lot. That's not a big gap, and that probably wraps up nicely with what I'm about to say next. Of course, most Spanish Grand Prix aren't usually won by an awful lot. I mean, on this game they may be, but in real life it's never a massive win for a driver. You'll never see a massive dominant win. And there's always that stat that was smashed by Lewis Hamilton last year, I think. Well, yeah, last year, and it was that the Spanish Grand Prix had seen 10 different winners over 10 years. Oh, it would have been 10 years, and then Hamilton smashed the record. So, yeah, who would have known? A man, Pastor Maldonado, of course, won around this circuit, 2012. They were the days. Preferred those days. But what can I say? Brilliant track, nonetheless.
Yes, of course, we've seen some absolute classics here in modern years. Like you said, 2012, when Maldonado somehow won in that poor Williams, as well as 2016, when we had both Mercedes crashing at turn 4, which was just opened the door for all the other teams. And hopefully we see, without the crashes, we see a quality race here for round number 5. So yeah, like I said, if you do want to watch more racing, we do have, like I said, Tier 2 tomorrow, as well as the Asia Pacific Trophy and the American Trophy. The American Trophy's on Sunday, so you can go and watch those as well. I will link the SRL Twitter in the Twitch chat, so you can go follow those guys and keep up to date with everything going on in league. But 3 minutes 26, James left. Still plenty of time for these guys to get some laps, and hopefully they get near my prediction, because they're a bit off at the moment.
Yeah, they're a long way off of your predictions at the moment, to be fair. But it's pretty close at the top, to be honest. I mean, 4/10 separating the top 5. It's not huge, but expect those times to tumble still. As Height is on a lap and he's got it pretty wrong through turn 3. I'm sure that's not going to put him off, though. It's a bit of a difficult one, this circuit, because there is places that you can find time. I feel like turn 3, the wide approach and if you take a wider line going into the corner, you're most likely going to take it absolutely flat out. Or not flat out, you will keep your foot on the throttle the whole way, but you won't be like, it's weird, the corner itself. And also the corner of turn, I think it's turn 10, where Heikki Kovalainen had a big old shunt back in, I think, 2009. So, yeah, that's another corner which, if you get it right, then you can take it near flat, but you've really got to be ballsy for a start, and I'm afraid that on this game, I'm just not that good, and afraid I'm probably not going to be able to ever take that corner flat. But anyway, Height's coming round the final corner now, and let's see what kind of lap he puts in. He goes 3rd, actually, so it wasn't a bad lap from Height, but there is time to be found. He ran wide, I say, at turn 3, so there is still plenty left in the tank. And LK goes fastest of all with a 18.5. That's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, great effort from LK. I think, like I said, Height's got a lot of time. He made 2 mistakes on that lap, turn 9 and turn number 3, big sweeping right-hander. But everyone still out, bar Ben J. Hopefully he can get back into the session. I'm sure he's been invited. Hayden finally out on a lap. It looks like Hayden and Tom are going to have to do one-lap wonders, James. They haven't got long to do any sort of lap. Tom, of course, has won the last 3 races in Bahrain, China and Azerbaijan. Can he make it 4 races in a row? Let us know in the chat, or will it be someone else? He just comes around the final sector. He's got Pierre Mata directly in front of him. I don't know whether they're on the lap or not, but we'll have to wait and see as they come across the line. What does Mata do? So Mata starts the lap, and Tom will also go up to 4th for now.
Yep, so he'll probably want to take another lap, to be honest, because 4th is good, but I'm sure he'll be looking pretty at where his teammate is, and his teammate in the other Sauber LK is on pole position at the moment. He's coming around. I think he's actually on another lap, so let's see what LK can do if he goes any faster. Yes, he does. This time he does an 18.4, so the time is there to be set. Is there to be beat, I should say, and Melanie is now coming around the final corner, and can he put that Toro Rosso on pole? I think he may just have gone onto a lap, so we'll have to wait another minute and a half. Drawmaster is also on a lap, and Melanie's retired. So he will start at best 2nd, but it could get worse for him.
Yeah, Melanie gained 10th on LK, but yeah, he'll do the best of 2nd at the moment. Anyone near the end of their lap? It looks like it's Matto who is nearest as he comes around the last sector. Of course, this has changed in the 90s to slow down the cars. Because the drivers were complaining about the G-forces on their necks, so they changed to put a chicane, of course also for safety, but the drivers did complain a lot about that. Gamata comes across the line to go 4th, as well as Thomas, and Tom will stop 5th.
And he's only
1,000 there.
Yeah, he's only 1,000th ahead of Height, but other news is that Drawmaster has nearly got himself into the 8.17s, and he's done an 18.0 in the McLaren. He's on pole for now, unless Height can make any sort of difference coming around the final corner. He's going to have to give it absolutely everything towards the line. I'm not sure whether he's going to have enough. No, not quite. He's a couple of lengths down, but Height will start from 2nd. That's a pretty good effort from Height, and he'll start 2nd behind Drawmaster, who I think that's his first ever pole position in this league, and that's a tremendous effort.
Hayden comes across the line in 9th. I didn't see the time, unfortunately, as the screen has gone to the qualifying section, hopefully. But that's qualifying over with Drawmaster on pole. Very close to my prediction, James. So in the end, I did get close with an 18.0. Height in 2nd. LK 3rd. Most running on in 4th. Melanie 5th. Matto 6th. Thomas in 7th. Ninjas in 8th. Hayden 9th. And Ben JP with no time. Let us know your predictions in the chat. We won't predict because we don't do that here in SRL. But it is almost race time here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Yeah.
Weirdly enough, there's not many times that you can say that the highest placed British driver on the grid was only 7th. Now, many leagues, as we know, are heavily occupied by British talent and British drivers. Thomas is the highest placed British driver on a 10-man grid in 7th. That is a bit of a statement, to be honest. Never seen that before. So, well, of course, if you watch an Australian league, then yes, you will see different. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. This tier, I don't think, has ever seen that. So that's a pretty bold statement. There you go. That is a good snap for SRL. I don't think that's ever been a thing. So, Mundo, if you're listening or watching, first ever British driver, well, I don't really know what the stat could be for that, but I suppose lowest placed, highest British driver. I suppose.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you can word that differently and make it look all pretty, I'm sure that's a great start to have. But with 1 second to go, we do not have formation laps, so we'll get straight into the race here. That is 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's lights and away we go. It looks like everybody gets a clean start. Haas getting sideways in the background as they come down towards turn 1. Drawmaster in the lead. He's got a Sauber and a Torso coming down, bearing down and coming toward turn 1. Can Elke go down the inside? But that is Elke going round the outside. Drown Drawmaster around turn 1. And Elke takes the lead going through turn 1, 2 and 3, James.
Absolutely stellar scenes as the Sauber goes right around the outside at turn 1. That is unbelievable. There's all the cars come through now through turn 4. Nothing is changing further back. The most Ronan and Height. We're going side by side through turn 3. Melanie has lost out, I'd say, at the start. He's dropped to 5th. Thomas has gained up to 6th place. It's not all over yet then for Thomas. He needs to keep making these ground up. The man who, as you said, has now got a hat-trick of victories in this league. He now needs to prove his worth in this race. 6th at the moment. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. Oh, and Height gets very sideways. There's a Haas on the gravel trap. That is, I think that's about Ronan. Height getting sideways out of turn 9. He is all over the place, and he's under pressure from his teammate, and as well as Tom coming through the last sector. Oh, there's that's Tom Round. That is Tom Round. Oh no, at turn 12, James. Oh, he's gone from bad to worse for him.
That is an absolute scenes moment in this league. You wouldn't have seen anything like that before. Tom has just... I don't know what's happened there, whether he's got in contact with one of the Toro Rossos, because they were sandwiching him through there, but he's now dropped into 10th place. If he comes into the pits, I'm not sure. No, he'll stay out on those soft tyres. But goodness me, what a dramatic and chaotic start to the Spanish Grand Prix.
Oh my, I did not expect that. It looked like Height was under pressure from his teammate, as well as Tom getting sideways coming round turn 12, and that's Ninja's going very wide around turn 3 as well, but unfortunately for Tom, luckily it doesn't look like we've got any damage for the Sauber driver, so he can still get ahead. He's only 5 seconds down on Ben, so he's still got a chance in this Grand Prix, but LK still leads over Drawmaster and Melanie in 3rd place, but we still have a great battle. 33 laps here in Spain, of course, lap 2 of 33. And the top 5 is LK, Drawmaster, Melanie, Height, and SRL Ninjas.
Drawmaster seems to have kept right on tabs with LK in these opening couple of laps. He hasn't really lost momentum with him. Melanie sat there in 3rd. I bet he is so happy he got in really no danger off the start. It was more his teammate Height off the front, which just a big moment coming off the exit of up the hill towards turn 10, I think it was, and also. You know, then that I think may have been contact between him and Thomas, unless Thomas just couldn't find the grip on the outside, which is of course possible. So we can't blame any blame on any driver yet. As Drawmaster is closing that gap, it's a 22-1. DRS is enabled on this lap. It's whether he can get close enough under braking to LK now, because this is going to be a big test for LK. Can he hold off Drawmaster in the McLaren?
Yeah, Drawmaster is going to be on a revenge mission after being, well, a face palm coming round in, run round the outside, and he's going to be on a mission to try and get back past LK in the Sauber as I come through the start sector number 2. I believe it is a one-stop strategy here. James, correct me if I'm wrong. It is straight onto the medium tyres, I believe.
Probably actually hard, medium or hard, I think. Yeah, one of them. I don't think it's medium. Yeah. Up to the drivers, so we'll see what they do.
Yeah, definitely. As Drawmaster's gained 2/10 throughout this lap on LK. I believe LK did one more lap on those soft tyres than Drawmaster, so that will play into Drawmaster's hands. Melanie dropping back a little bit at the moment, but of course he's had a great start getting 2 positions from 5th place. But we'll stay on board with Drawmaster's come through the final chicane to start lap number 4. Can the McLaren driver get back at LK, the Sauber, as they start lap number 4?
Yeah, just a thought though, when we watched the Chinese Grand Prix, of course made a massive lunge on down the outside of 12 on the Chinese Grand Prix circuit. He's going to go for a move now, Drawmaster on the outside. Can he get him all the way around the outside? He's going to give it a good go. He's going to be squeezed out to the inside. LK's going to give him enough room. Through turn 3, he's got to really not give in now. Through he goes. Is he going to be able to get momentum towards turn 4? As they head down towards the end of the first sector, can he get him on the switchback? No, LK blocking it off. But... yes, a bit aggressive from LK, but keeps the lead of this race. I'm not sure what to think about that, if I'm honest.
I'd say it's slightly aggressive driving, but still fair from LK and Drawmaster. Just an update from Dutchman. He said Tom has done 0 practice, so that may have been the fault when he spun with a lack of practice here in Spain. That's why maybe started so far down. But the battling between Drawmaster and LK has allowed Melanie to catch up by almost half a second as well. But further back, it looks like we got a great little battle between Hayden, Ronan and Pierre Mato. Haas stuck behind Hayden. Hayden getting 3 places off the start after qualifying pretty poorly here in SRL tonight. But see what he can do from 6th place for now. We'll get back on board with the leading bunch. Looks like they're quite spread out now, James. Not sure what's going on here, but we'll stay on board with Drawmaster. He's a little bit further back this time, but we don't think he's going to make a move down to turn 1. But we never know.
Yeah, you never say never with this boy. He knows exactly where to pick his moments. And actually, I think this could be quite an interesting race. Those 2 Toro Rossos, if they get in the mix properly in this race, this could really spice it right up. If it wasn't good enough already, we're on lap 5. To be fair, first few cars only separated by a second. So it's really not much to get between these few guys, or a couple of seconds, I should say. There's really nothing in it. If Melanie and Height can really mount a challenge now and early on in this race, it could just throw this race wide open. But hopefully we won't see a repeat of China. Hopefully this time we see a proper battle for the lead. SRL archives say that this Grand Prix, you know, it's a bit difficult on the race leaders, as Danny and Payne found out in GP2 a couple of seasons ago. Well, they made a massive crash. As where we come through now, turn 11. That is where they made a massive crash. It actually goes down in pretty much folklore in this league. That is a big crash that has always been remembered. And I wasn't about at that time of point, but what a bit of controversy that threw up. But they get over it now. They're pretty cool with each other. I'm pretty sure they're good mates now. So happy days to those two. But this race is just intensifying even more as Melanie goes, with the 22-1 and the fastest lap of this race.
Yeah, Melanie on the push control master. No, it doesn't make a move through turn 1, but the top 3 split by half a second now as Pierre Mato gets past Hayden as well. He did previously, whereas Ronan got past him as well. Must Ronan getting past, is that Ninja? Ninja's making a mistake through turn 2. He's in the gravel and he's down to 9th place. Tom might even get him through turn 3 as well. Yeah, Tom finally gains a place.
Oh, Melanie's gone for a lunge on Drawmaster. Sorry to cut across. Into 2nd place goes Melanie's dive one down the inside of the McLaren. Drawmaster drops to 3rd. He was caught unawares. He got so much loss of front end grip through turn 3. Had no momentum coming through the whole swing of corners. Through turn 3 ran wide, and then through turn 4 just couldn't get anything in towards turn 5, and Melanie was right on him and pounced instantly. He's into 2nd place.
Yeah, Melanie pouncing on that opportunity to get past Drawmaster and up into 2nd. He can continue his podium streak. He's had a podium in every single race. 3 third places and a 1st, of course, in Australia. But Height's getting pulled into this as well, James. So we've got a 4-way battle for the lead. This is just what we wanted here in Spain. Like you said, Spain always shows a good race in SRL. So start of lap number 7. Everybody too far apart, it looks like, but Melanie moves to the inside line just to try and put off LK coming through turn 1 and 2, but no moves as of yet. The top 4 split by just about a second and a half, it looks like.
Absolutely. It's just that front end grip through turn 3. It's just costing a lot of these drivers at the moment. You see with Melanie there as well, as I was riding on board with him, he just had to almost gauge off the throttle. He couldn't put his foot down. Now, LK would have been able to, because the dirty air wouldn't have been, well, he wouldn't have had any. So this is actually a big factor in the outcourse of this race. It's not so much turn 3, but it's their approach on it, because it can affect the whole run and the sequence of corners that follows.
Yeah, definitely. As Drawmaster goes wide at turn 9 there. Drawmaster maybe struggling with the dirty air and those tyres. Maybe he's wearing them down. Height. The other Toros are right on the back of that McLaren as they come round the last section of the track towards the chicane. This is going to be a prime position for Height to make a move on the McLaren as they come through the final tricky chicane. Massive curbs there, bouncing the car all over the place. We'll stay on board with Height as they come to start lap number 8. Let's get on board with him. Looks a bit too far back now, but you never know if the DRS is working today in the game. He's gaining rapidly. Can he make a move? Doesn't look like for now. But this battle for the lead is intensifying. But James, there's a gap now, 1.2 seconds between Melanie and Drawmaster.
Yeah, Drawmaster needs a little bit more of a pickup, to be honest, because at the moment he hasn't really got it. These two Toro Rossos will want to have dragged themselves through the pack and just hope that they could do something. To be honest, I wouldn't surprise if Melanie tries to hold up LK once he gets past him, just so Height can get through and then get those all-important points for Toro Rosso. But also, just a pointer on the pit stop window, it should be around lap 10 or 11. I think that, or about lap 10 to about lap 13 I would go with for these guys to make a change of tyres. So that's what I'd expect. Now, the undercut can be quite powerful around this circuit. Real life Grand Prix have said that in the past. Of course, Pastor Maldonado technically got the undercut on Fernando Alonso when he won here in 2012. He then won that race by 3.7 seconds. So it can be quite powerful. These guys have just got to absolutely know their in-lap when they do decide to pit.
Yeah, if they can nail that, that can be really crucial for today's race. Looking at the constructors, Toro Rosso need a boost. They're a big 58 points behind, but Melanie coming down towards someone. LK on the inside, can Melanie go around the outside, going through turn 1? Can LK defend this side by side? But it looks like Melanie has got the position through turn 2, and that is a Toro Rosso driver up into first place. Great move round the outside, better on the brakes. And that's going to... No, Drawmaster's a little bit too far back, but that is Melanie up in the first place. And we'll see now, James, if Melanie will hold up LK to allow this top 4 to bunch back together.
Exactly. I know these two are in a pie with each other, Melanie and Height, so it would not surprise me, but it may be quite difficult because they've got a charging Sauber and a charging McLaren not too far behind. They won't want to be getting into kind of mistakes now. Melanie will want to just maybe push on in this race because the pit stop window, as I say, it's coming up and they don't really want to cross each other over in the pit stop. So to be fair, if Melanie can pull a gap on his teammate now, they could theoretically stop on the same lap. That would be a big ask. That is a big ask. I don't think I've ever seen that in league racing. So don't be shocked not to see that. Melanie from LK and Drawmaster that follows in third. Height is fourth at the moment, and it looks like Drawmaster has started to close once again. But those... Oh, someone come in. Yes, they have. Drawmaster's in. But actually, that's earlier than I predicted.
I think he's struggling with his tyres, James. The dirty air is really affecting that McLaren, and he's not getting anywhere. So him coming in the pits with Hayden behind him as well. So Drawmaster trying to get undercut there. See what he can do.
Yeah, he's bolted on a set of hard tyres, Drawmaster, in the McLaren. I'm not going to be surprised if Hayden does the same. He indeed does. How much progress has Thomas made at the back? He's now 4/10 or half a second behind Ben JP in P6. So it's not all over yet for Thomas. We may still see a massive comeback through the field, but he's going to have to really get his elbows out in these next few laps.
Yeah, Tom, after spinning on the first lap, of course he will get points wherever he does finish, but this will affect the Toro Rosso Sauber battle for the Constructors' title. Like I said quickly but earlier, Sauber leading with 137 points over Toro Rosso. Height not getting the results required, not even getting a podium in the first 4 races. So if he and Melanie can get podiums, that will massive boost for their challenge for the Season 6 Constructors title. But will the top guys come in? Melanie stays out. Will LK come in?
Height's in.
LK will come in, and Height.
Okay, that's a big call. Let's see if the undercut works then. Let's see what Drawmaster's got in the tank and what he's managed to achieve on this out lap. This is a big moment and maybe a pivotal moment in this race. If he can get through these last few corners, he really needs to go for this now because he knows this is a big chance. If he can just jump the two of LK and Height as they are coming down the pit lane. I think Drawmaster's well and truly... Oh, not quite. He's got LK in his sights. He's going to have to keep to the outside. I don't think he's going to have enough to get past him, but no, he doesn't. And that is actually quite big for LK. He manages to get ahead and stays ahead. Drawmaster in the McLaren. I didn't expect that. I thought that Drawmaster was actually going to come through and just trounce on LK, but it turns out not that way. It's now all down to Melanie in the lead of this race and what he decides to do if he decides to come in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and see what Melanie's plan is, to whether to stay out for longer. So LK gets out ahead of of Drawmaster. Tom still stuck behind Ben in third and fourth, but of course these guys are yet to pit. Right, will Melanie come into the pits? He is coming into the... Oh, he takes out the bollard as well. Nicely done. Bollard football here in Spain. Melanie comes into the pits, and will the overcut work on the other guys fighting for the lead of the race?
Yeah, Ronan joins him in the pit lane as well. His teammate Pitramato pitted on the previous lap. Let's see then what these guys have got. LK and Drawmaster coming around the final corner now. So this could be really close. Let's see where Melanie is out in relation. I think he might just do it. If I say might just do it, I think he's absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed. Yeah, he has. He's well out in front, isn't he, Melanie? That is 1.7 seconds. That is tremendous from Melanie. Getting himself into, in essence, the net lead of this race and keeping himself there. 1.7 seconds. That is a brilliant overcut by the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, the Finnish man is doing what he does best, and he can get another win today, hopefully. No commentator's curse, but that will be his second win of the season if he continues at this rate. And like you said, it's 1.7 seconds to LK. Drawmaster right on his tail. Height losing a bit of time, actually. It's 2.1 seconds further back, but I believe that is everybody pitted bar Ben J, who is on the mediums. Of course, he did not qualify, so he will be going a little bit longer than everybody else. But lap 12 of 33 completed, and I'm sure there's still plenty more action to come in the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's probably the closest battle on track at the moment. Yeah, either between Drawmaster and LK, or the two Haas cars. We've seen, or at least I saw in, we saw in China, didn't we, how close these guys are in relative pace. And the two Italians, they are absolute banzais. They are absolutely out. Some of the moves that they make are just phenomenal. I absolutely love watching these guys race. You just never know what's going to happen next. And that's kind of what I like about it. Just always on the edge. So I expect these guys to be embraced in some pretty big battles over the next few laps, if of course they apply team orders, that is. I'm sure they'll try their very hardest to keep all tension intact in this race. I'm sure that's what they're thinking. But that gap now between Drawmaster and LK is at over a second. So Drawmaster is losing out a little bit more as he progresses on those hard tyres.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with Drawmaster. Seems to have lost a bit of confidence since being overtaken by LK on the first lap around the outside, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe the wrong setup. We'll never know unless we talk to him after the race. We won't know what's going on with Drawmaster. But Melanie still in the net lead of the race. Ben, of course, is yet to pit, but Melanie is gaining on the Red Bull driver. LK in the Sauber behind him. Drawmaster fourth. Height in fifth. Ronan in sixth. The teammate behind him, Pierre Matto, in seventh. Tom doing a good job at the moment in eighth. Hayden and Ninja are the close battle we've got on track, actually, James. So may see a move from the man who spun at turn 2 early on in the race. We never know. Coming down towards turn 1, he will have DRS.
Yeah, he will. Let's see what Ninja's can do then. He's not too far behind Hayden. I'm not sure he's going to go for it just yet. He gets very close on the brakes, but it's not enough through the first couple of corners. Hayden is actually on the harder tyres, whereas Ninja's is interestingly on the mediums. So Ninja's goes so wide though through turn 3 and he's binned it. Oh, but not lost a wheel. And he's retired. He's had enough. He saw that the comms were on him and he bottled it. No, I'm only joking. But he's not very happy about that. And rightfully so as well, because he was doing okay, and it was an interesting strategy. And as soon as I opened my mouth, I cursed it, and he's binned it. So, apologies, Ninjas. I didn't mean it intentionally. That's just the way it is.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as I say. So it was Evan Almighty, Bruce Almighty. Lap 15 of 33. Ben still leading by 7.3 seconds. Everybody a little bit spaced out at the moment. Hopefully these guys they usually do congress back together, as Height does a new faster lap of a 22 flat in his Toro Rosso, and he'll be hoping for a good result this week. He did finish, where is he, height on my list, 9th last week in Azerbaijan, as Drawmaster's gone very wide through turn 3. Drawmaster really struggling, not sure what's going on with the Swede today. He's struggling in that McLaren, and he's allowing Height to claw back at him on lap 15. We did say earlier about the dirty air effect on his front tyres and struggling to turn in, James, but I'm not really sure what's going on with him.
Maybe. I mean, it's a very, big call, but has he just gone for a setup that's relative on qualifying pace? Has he just gone for a setup that's going to, help him in the qualifying, and just so he can keep his nerve and just defend positions more than anything? I mean, I wouldn't go for that approach personally, but some people do decide to go that method. I'd like to know I can push nearly the whole race. That is what they call the best setup. If you can push the whole race and your tyres are going off a little, they're going off, but you've got enough pace and you can fight, that's the best kind of setup. Although you never see it too often, when you do see it, it's very abundant who has got the best setup. As if I was going to put an opinion on it right now, it would be Melanie, just seemingly making these moves so easy on earlier on in this race. And he hasn't really looked in an awful lot of danger since, but that battle between Height and Drawmaster is definitely heating up for 3rd place and the final podium spot.
Yeah, Height on a mission, and like you said, I think Melanie's just the god of tyres, because he seems to go a lot longer than everybody else on track. Not sure what the Finnish man is doing, replicating the Bottas and Kimi Räikkönen maybe in real life Formula 1. But Height in 4th, 7 tenths behind Drawmaster, like you said, James, battling for the final podium position, with most running in 5th, Matto in 6th, Thomas in 7th, Ben in 8th after just pitting, and Hayden in last place. But he will get points. That is the important thing for Hayden, and he'll appreciate me saying that. He getting points at the back of the grid. Oh, he loves me really. But
good lad.
We'll stay on board with Height and Drawmaster. That is the closest battle we got on track.
Yeah, Hayden. P9. All he has to do, is, to be honest with him now, is he's just got to finish this race, because of course there is the rule where, although there is 10 drivers or anything like this, if you're a tyre in the top 10, you don't score points. Kind of makes sense in my eyes, because, well, you haven't finished the race, so why would you deserve the points? Still, this battle rages on between Height and Drawmaster. We're at about half distance now. I'd say pretty much half distance. Lap 17 to 33, but. It is starting, maybe to intensify that a little bit more again, hopefully, fingers crossed. I want to see these guys really fighting now, and maybe this final podium spot will be a very interesting one. We never saw it in China, but let's hope we see it now in Spain.
Yeah, hopefully we do. That gap is slowly decreasing between Height and Drawmaster. Now 4 tenths of a second between the Toro Rosso and McLaren man. But like I said earlier, guys, if you want to see some more racing, we do have the F2 stream, as well as the American and Asia Pacific trophies on Saturday and Sunday. Sorry, Friday and Saturday. So you can go and watch those. And Height is right on the back of Drawmaster's gearbox to come through the final sector, James. And hopefully we see some more overtaking here. I don't want to put anything on Drawmaster, but he is really struggling, like I've said already. And Height is in prime position to do an overtake. He's almost glued to the back of the McLaren.
Yeah, he was just pushing him through the final chicane then. Expect a move to be done then for 3rd place. Height has gone the fastest lap again. Let's see what he can do into turn 1.
Down the inside of Drawmaster, easy as you'd like. And Drawmaster's really struggling. Front end grip, it looks like, as Height goes down his round his outside through turn 1 and 2, turn 1, 2 and 3, and he's up into that podium position. So Toro Rosso now 1st and 3rd, and that will help them in the constructor standings. LK 2nd, and of course Melanie leading by 2.2 seconds at the moment.
Sorry about that. Yeah, right. I just caught what you
Not to
said.
worry.
I was, let's say preoccupied was the word. But it was a nice, tasty little move.
Just an update on Ninjas, James. This is from the Dutchman. I will quote the text. Ninjas has said in chat, "I can't be arsed. Oversteer every effing corner. Height killed Thomas and nearly ended my race. Height lagged backwards and I ended on the gravel. And then I oversteered into the wall. Great fucking game." Oh, so I didn't mean to swear then. I got it the first time. So yeah,
dear.
that's what happened.
Yeah, so he's a happy bunny by the sounds of things.
Yes,
I'm surprised that he's complaining with oversteer. I mean, oversteer is actually quite prominent around here, but when you look at the back, when you look at Drawmaster, for him it's like how much understeer that guy gets. I don't think he really gets a whole deal of oversteer, so maybe, you know, prominently you just want a more oversteery car around this circuit. It does kind of seem that way. I mean, you have got a lot of long wounded corners, which I'd imagine you'd rather want oversteer than you want understeer. There you go, there's my aerodynamic prowess coming into play there. Probably not correct as well, but still. Check out the Haas, not far behind now in P5. But this I wanted to see again. I really wanted to see this again. Most Ronin in P5, Drawmaster P4, and Height in P3. This could be an absolute ballistic. This could just be ballistic. That is the word. There is no other words for it. It could be absolutely mental. So stay tuned, everybody. There's a good 14 laps to go. I wouldn't recommend you going anywhere because this is just about to get as hot as, well, a typical early May bank holiday. So get ready for it.
Good analogy there. It's almost a carbon copy of China. If Matto can get involved as well, who's further back, we could almost. I think it is a copy. As Height gets a penalty. Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dearie me.
That's a bit of a shame for him, really. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to get. Well, I mean, no driver ever wants a penalty. I mean, it's a pretty obvious statement from me there, James. But still. Yeah, that's not helpful. This kind of throws most Ronin definitely in the mix now. He's now under a second behind Drawmaster, just increased again to over a second, but he's staying in tabs then of the McLaren. Watch that Haas, because this, as I say, could be Titanic.
Hopefully we get that done. Rampage previously predicting 1-2 for Toro Rosso, and then he just replied with maybe not after the penalty that Height received. But they are very, very close as Ronin drifting through turn 12 there, but he is 6/10 behind the McLaren of Drawmaster. Drawmaster 7/10 behind Height. Will stay on board with most Ronin, the Italian, as he starts lap number 21 of 33. 11 laps to go here in Catalonia, who will finish on the final podium position. LK and Manley sort of sealed 1 and 2, so we'll keep an eye on these. Pierre Mato not too far back either in 6th place. Tom in 7th, doing a good job, good recovery after spinning on lap number 1. Ben in 8th, and Hayden at the back of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to see if Ronin can get this move done. It's going to be pretty close, as I say, but it's all about where can he make this move now. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, turn 1's look pretty good, which is surprising for me because I didn't really think that many people go for that overtake, but it does seem that it is paying off for a fair few drivers today. Also, down towards the end of the second sector, seems to be a good place to make a move as Ronin goes a little bit on the gravel, which is going to compromise his run towards that very corner. Let's see if he can just make time up now in this final sector, what kind of a setup he will have in this car. It's all about whether he can just allow his teammate to just drag along with him. Can he drag his teammate up through the field with him? Because at the moment, Pietro Mato is actually closing the gap, surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly, because they're fighting, but this could be, as I say, he could be even thrown into the mix. So it's not even over for Pietro Mato just yet. Let's see what these guys are made of in these last few laps. Drawmaster looks like he's going to go for a move on Height. Indeed he does around the outside. Can he get it all stuck together? No, he cannot. It's not coming for him just yet, and I'm not sure he'll be aware of the penalty, but Drawmaster just can't get through there. Yeah,
Drawmaster switching from the inside to the outside to try and get past height, but it looks like he outbraked himself slightly, so he's compromised his position coming through that. And of course, this is allowing Ronin to get right on the back of him. Of course, Matto is staying at about 3 seconds at the moment. Hopefully, he can get dragged back into the battle for P number 3. But currently, Height will not finish on the podium, with Drawmaster getting that final podium position. Of course, Height has a penalty. Oh, that is most running going very wide at turn number 9 onto the corner of the gravel trap there here in Spain. But a slight gap forming between Height and Drawmaster. Melanie still leads 1.9 seconds over LK. LK got a good gap as well. I mean, Melanie just being consistent as usual, James. You know, we've seen this season he's been excellent at keeping that consistency. Even with damage in China, he still got on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. That gap isn't huge. Actually, it was a lot bigger than that, I'm pretty sure, anyway. So that's a big surprise. And Drawmaster, once again, looks like he may go for the move on Height towards the inside of turn 1, thinks about it, gives him the dummy, fills his mirrors, but doesn't make the move. It's a penalty for Drawmaster. So at the moment, it means that Ronin will finish P3, but he now needs to make the same, can't afford to make the same mistake as the 2 guys ahead of him, which of course both have penalties. So I'm actually going to check that just to confirm whether he has got a penalty. Ronin has 2 warnings, so this could actually be straight up for a podium if he's not careful. He just wants to keep this car on the road. 10 laps to go of this race. Can the Haas afford not to get any more warnings? This is the moment where he will get one instantly.
Slap bang straight in his face. I think you just called it, James. Yeah. But they're still really close. A battle for P3, and of course Drawmaster and Height are on the same playing field now. Both have a penalty each, but of course Matto technically holds the last podium position. Actually, James, over the last lap, LK is getting 3/10 on Melanie. Like you said, that gap is decreasing, so we'll keep an eye on those guys, but we'll stay on board with about P3 at the moment.
He's actually gone fast.
LK turning up the heat.
I'll just let you know on something though. The last fastest lap time, I'm pretty sure, in this race was a 22.0. So that's 4/10 of a second. He's just smashed out the park. LK is right on with a chance in this race. Those hard tyres on previous games, when I remember, they got better as the race went on. Maybe the same fate here on this game as well. Spain is definitely one of those tracks that can really cause you bad tyre wear, but it does seem as if now that LK is just going to get the edge on Melanie. He's 1.5 seconds with 9 laps to go.
It's that everyone's converging. This is just what we wanted tonight in the commentary box, and I love if all 5 congregated on each other, but I don't think that's going to happen. Oh no, Matto's got a penalty. They're all on the same playing field. It's all every man for himself, not James. 3rd, 4th and 5th, all with 3 seconds worth of penalties.
This is where it's going to get your elbows out. Make sure that they're, just firm, because these guys are going to be absolutely hammer and tong between these guys. 2.4 seconds is the gap between Ronin and Pizzo Matto, who's gone off the circuit at turn 12, I think that is. He's gone straight on, and that's going to maybe allow Thomas to close in as well. Just cut across there. Probably wasn't expected, but he ran straight onto the AstroTurf and managed to nearly get that car into the wall. I say nearly get that car into the wall like he intended to, but he of course didn't. Ronin, Drawmaster and Height are still within close proximity. Let's see if Height can just hold on now. He's going to have the advantage on these guys because, of course, he is in that clean air. He hasn't got any dirty air to be dealing with at towards the end of this race. Drawmaster will be desperate to get a podium in this race. I'm not sure he's had one this season. So, I mean, quote me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. But, yeah, nope. 4th at the moment, so it could be his 1st of the season. That's unbelievable, because this man has been absolutely on rails when I've seen him. Absolutely fantastic driver to watch in this league, and I just want to see him on the podium. I've got no disrespect for the other 2, because of course Height races for the Alloy TV Motorsport, and also that would be nice to see him on the podium. I'll be getting a tweet out on that as well. Let's just see how he can hold his nerve now, Height. Let's see what he can do over the next few laps. You never like to see a biased commentator, but for once, you may have just heard me there. Yeah,
it's quite biased, but The gap between Melanie and LK has increased again. So Melanie turning up heat to make sure that gap is staying at what it is, back up to 2.1 seconds. But Drawmaster right on the back of the Toro Rosso come down to turn 1. Can he make a move? Goes to the outside. That is height. He's going to compromise through turn 1 and 2. Can he go off the inside? Oh, with side by side. And that they're still side by side through turn 3. But oh, that was close. It looks like
me, where did he find the grip through turn 2? He just held it on the inside of the curb. I just can't believe that. It's unbelievable from Drawmaster. He's had all problems coming through that part of the circuit in particular. We've been really getting on his back about turn 2 and 3 this whole race, and he's actually managed to get a move done through there with some amazing bit of momentum. And Ronan's got another penalty, throwing him well out of the picture now of a chance of a podium. He'll be gutted, the Italian, that he won't be able to take that final podium spot unless these guys, of course, get penalties.
Yeah, well, James, there's still 7 laps to go, so still plenty of chances for Drawmaster and height to get penalties. So you never know. Most Thomas and Matto are still pretty close behind. Thomas did go down the inside, a bullying move through turn 1 on lap 24, I believe. But Matto staying with him for now as LK a new fastest lap of 21.6. But the battle for third place is still very much on the barbecue grill. It's just getting hotter and hotter here in Spain, as Melanie's still holding the lead over LK. Height, Drawmaster, Ronan fighting for that final point position. But of course, if Ronan has that extra penalty. But like you said, James, still plenty more laps for those guys to get penalties. And we never hope for any more penalties for any driver, but it would make it more spicy.
Yeah, it would definitely make it would up the intensity there. It'd be adding herbs and spices onto that barbecue, let me tell you, because there will be it'll be our full blown fire. Picture Matto has got back past Thomas. That's a cheeky little scrap for P6 actually. Thomas is keeping her on the back of the house. I'm surprised the house has really kept ahead of Thomas, although we've heard that apparently he has done little practice. Let's not forget, this is a pretty good effort from Picture Matto, just being held to his 6th place. And will Thomas go for it down in towards turn 12? You better believe he will. And he's not going to get it done because the switchback will allow him, Picture Matto, to get on the outside to make contact. And yet again, we've gone on to a shot of a battle which has ended in a crash. So if it happens for the guys in the top 3, well, anything will happen. And then Tom, with the greatest respect in the world, lets him back through. But of course, that isn't what he would have wanted on the cars, because Ben JP is now on this scrap. We've got a nice little battle for P6 going on towards the end of this race. Let's keep an eye on that. Whoa, Picture Matto going a bit Hamilton and Kubica, but he's holding on to P6 for now. And now Thomas will come back at him again towards the end of turn 1 and will not be able to get that move done. But in fact, it's just put off Picture Matto through the first corner. Now Thomas will go side by side with him, going to get to the inside towards turn 3. Ben JP is trying to follow him through on the outside as well. Can't get the move done, and Picture Matto back on the inside again. He'll go on the offensive, back up the inside, makes contact with Thomas, and that has ended in complete disaster for the Sauber, the complete disaster for the Haas, and maybe jubilation for the Red Bull.
Yeah, it just turned into a crash fest there between Tom and Matto, and Tom now has damage on the right side of that front wing. Unfortunately, he may be able to hold it as they come through turn 9. He's really struggling to get the turn in as they come down towards turn 10. Can he make the move going round the outside of the second DRS zone? Tries a switchback, but Tom gets a better grip out of that corner as Melanie does a new fast lap of 21.6. So Toro Rosso is still pushing his hardest on lap 29 of 33, but will stay on board with a fight for second between Tom, Matto and Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. That's staying. Oh my goodness me, I didn't appreciate just how close that was. Hayden's not too far behind either, but although he has got a penalty, this could end in a plane crash in an instant. So just bear that thought in mind. Look at Ben JP, the amount of momentum. He may even get Thomas into turn 1. And he does. Oh, not quite. Just, goodness me.
Just does. What a move from Ben JP. And Hayden's getting involved as well.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's still contact between the two of them. and I think Pichimato has lost out badly there, hasn't he? He went from pretty much prime position to absolutely no position and 9th place, last of the runners. But I'm sure he won't care because this is such a good little squabble that I'm sure just enjoy this more than anything else. But probably back watching the top, sorry, 3rd to 5th as well, because they are staying well within each other. Melanie goes fastest again, and that gap was 1.5 seconds a few laps ago. It's now 3 seconds. So he's just somehow found all that time. Literally no idea where. So clearly Melanie was conserving his stars quite well. Let us know who you think your driver of the day should be, because I think there may be a fair few protagonists to come in this one.
Oh, definitely. As Hayden and Matto are bullying each other through the final chicane, Rampage in the chat saying this is amazing. It's turning into that now. Matto right on the back of Hayden to come down towards 2-1. Can the random driver defend from it? Oh, he's down the inside but doesn't pull the move off. Hayden breaks late and that will allow Matto to get a better run. Oh, he's sideways all over the place. And I think that's it for Matto down, and he will finish in 9th place as Hayden right on the back of Tom. The man who was on a mission is, his mission to a good point, a haul of points, is failing quite dramatically, like one of the NASA missions from the early 80s, without being quite crude. But further up, Height still holding P3 over Drawmaster and was running. That was quite a mean. I'm not gonna say that again as a quote as a commentator.
It was quite bad. Hayden has actually gone the offensive again on Thomas. He's looking to the outside this time. Is he going to get this move done? To be honest, if there's one thing he didn't expect to be doing this race, I'm sure it'd be battling the championship leader, as most Ronan has now gone fastest of all. Would you believe that? He's literally got nothing to lose, so I suppose it's a good way of rounding off a race that could have been so much better. Take a look at Height and Drawmaster, though, Ollie. That is getting absolutely tasty as you like. We were talking about that barbecue earlier with all the herbs and spices added to it. Well, there you go. It's all been added now. Take us through this.
I think we're adding some chilies to that barbecue, James, because it's getting spicy as they come through too. Well, that was just perfect. You give it that to on a plate. As was running right on the back of Drawmaster.
That was so unintentional. That was so unintentional.
But it was so perfect, James. It was so perfect. As Drawmaster holding off the Harsrow as they come round down the second of 2 DRS straights here in Spain. Height still holding that position. Drawmaster still got a chance with 2.5 laps left here in Spain. Height, he potentially could get his first podium of season 6 of SRL, unless Drawmaster wants to change that. And of course, it will be Drawmaster's first podium as well for in this season, of course. And Height has already gone defensive to come down towards turn number 1, lap 32 of 33, 2 laps to go. He's right on the back of him as they come down towards turn 1. Can the McLaren driver go round the outside through turn 1? Oh, it looks like he can. Oh, he's been pushed wide. Oh, but he's still, he's lost it, just about lost it, and that's going to allow us run to get right to the back of his gearbox through turn 3, and that's allowed a little bit of breathing room for the Toro Rosso man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was pretty ambitious, to be honest. You're not going to find many people who are going to manage to outbrake Height, especially in a position where he's in, where he knows he could definitely get a podium. He won't want to give this up very easily, I'm sure. So just, yeah, this won't be easy. He's got, now in essence a lap to do it in, and I'm not sure where he's going to get it move done. He's really going to have to find some momentum coming through the end of the last sector of the lap.
Yeah, he's got a lap and a half to get past him, so there's still time as Matto gets past Hayden further down, but we'll stay on board with the battle for P number 3. Will we get any more spices on our barbecue in Spain? That is the question we have here. How many spices? 3, 4, 5 chilies? Let us know in the chat. That is what we'll have. As
definitely not mild of action, this one, is it?
Oh, definitely not. It's not the... we're spicing up in Nando's, the Spanish Nando's. But Height comes down towards turn 1. Drawmaster switches. Oh, he's on the grass. He's taking out the boards. Oh, no, it almost ends in tears for Drawmaster. Try something different. Almost replicating Sebastian Vettel from last year. and Height keeps a position for now. Oh, I thought that was going to end in tears, James.
I don't think I've ever reacted like that to a move that's nearly gone so badly wrong. And my goodness me, how did he keep that on the road?
No idea. That was incredible.
Oh,
But we'll try and stay on board with this battle. It's still continuing on the final lap. Of course, Melani's still leading as he comes. He's got a 3-second lead, but can Drawmaster do anything on Height? He's got a DRS down towards turn number 11. Doesn't make the move stick, but it looks like Melanie comes round the last couple of corners to win his second race of the season. A dominant display from the finish line. Comes round the final bend. Matto gets another penalty, but Melanie will win his second race of the season. Congratulations to him. LK will get second place. Drawmaster, can he do it? I don't think he can. And Height will get third place. Oh, almost getting him on the line there. I think that was the AI, but Height getting third place. Drawmaster fourth. Ronin in fifth. Ben will get sixth place, it looks like, with Tom in seventh, unless they're still battling away. Oh no, Matto's round in the chicane, James. A diving move, and that was never going to work from the Italian. And we've had a great display here, James, and I'm thoroughly thrilled at the display that was given to us on track.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still pretty amazed that he went for that move. He's definitely done the Senna quote, hasn't he? If you no longer go for a gap, you no longer a racing driver, because that man wasn't even on the track. So I don't know what he was. He was Colin McRae, is what he was. He was definitely not, anything close to a McLaren Honda driver. That's for sure. Although to be fair, yeah, I'm pretty amazed. I'm still amazed that he kept that car on the rails, on the road, because that wasn't going to end well for him. It looked like it points that race. But Melanie wins from LK, and Height in P3 as well. Drawmaster from fourth, Ronan, Ben JP, Thomas having a pretty, well, I wouldn't say the word boring springs to mind, but he definitely had a tough race out there today. Aiden in eighth and looked like it was getting a bit of action towards the end. Matto in ninth, and Ninjas, I'm sorry once again, in P10.
Yeah, Ninjas unfortunately will not get points for today's race. But guys, if you've got any questions for the drivers, the podium finish, let us know in the chat. We can ask them away. We've got two of them in here. We'll just wait for the final man. Is LK got who? One of you guys haven't got a mic. I can't remember which one.
All three of us.
It is. All three of us. You. Okay, perfect. That is.
Yeah.
Ignore what I'm saying.
Kane never used
right,
to,
so
but
we're
just
just
now.
Perfect. Right, so we're just waiting. Right, LK is in. Perfect.
Woo.
And well, James, I'll hand it over to you to start the interviews.
Okay. Well, we'll go straight then to Melanie. That looked pretty difficult at the start, to be honest, because I think a lot of us were kind of questioning how easy you're going to make your way through the field. So I don't want to use the words "how easy was it," but I am. Was it difficult? Did you feel like you had the pace realistically on these guys? Was it just a bit easy?
Well, yeah, I had to work for it quite hard. When I was like P5 or something like that in quali and had to overtake Height and Drawmaster and then K or LK, and yeah, I mean it was a bit hard. Once I got like through everyone, then I got like clear road and just managed to pull away a bit. But K was like within like 1.7 seconds each lap, so really just needed to keep on pushing. So yeah, bit sweaty, pretty cool still.
Yeah, swaying quite a lot, I'd imagine as well. I haven't really got any more. Well, other than you're closing the gap a lot now, I suppose, in the championship. I don't know the gap off the top of my head, but Tom finishing 7th today, that must give you a slight glimmer of hope going in towards the end of this season, or the rest of the season, I should say.
Yeah, just need to make ground on these sort of occasions where Tom has like a slight bit of bad luck. Need to really capitalize on those.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on the win. Are you going to do second, or do you want me to do second, or What's happening?
I don't mind. I'll do some questions.
Go on then.
Yeah, I'll do it. LK, congratulations on second place. You sort of had it. It was a bit chill, really. Once a pit stop phase happened, you just sort of drove away and followed Melanie.
Yeah, well, actually, I was trying to catch Melanie. Melanie was so fast. He did perfect laps in the end. I couldn't follow. My tires were dead, but in this game, it's a bit weird. And yeah, I couldn't catch him. I had such a great start, P3 from to P1 turn 1. And then yeah, Melanie was just the fastest here. Congratulations, man.
Cheers.
It was a great. Well, it was a great race for himself. Two podiums in a row. Potentially a win next week. We'll have to wait and see. Don't want to wish any bad luck or good luck on anybody. Commentator's cursing on. Hopefully not. We did do a little bit of that today in the commentary, but I'll hand it back to James to finish it off with height.
Oh, height! I'm so glad you got that podium today. No, seriously though, that was a pretty good effort to get third in the end because it looked like you were getting well. The word trounced probably isn't the correct word to use, but it looked like you were in some serious bother in the rear end, which I'm sure, again, worded pretty terribly. It did look a bit of a pain in the arse, let's put it that way, towards the end of that race. So how was it? Because you never really had an easy spell in that race.
Yeah, well, it's well, firstly, it's just great to be on the podium finally. You look at Australia, I disconnected before the start, Bahrain disconnected before a possible win, and then China and Azerbaijan, and it's just I literally got out of my chair and jumped around in my room like a Japanese schoolgirl. I was so happy that because I honestly thought that the 3-second penalty that I got had cost me the podium, but turns out not. Yeah, the race was extremely. I think that's the most stressful race I've ever done in my whole league racing career because at the start, lap 1, I just bottle-berged and I went wide, and I don't know who it was, but someone went in the gravel because I skidded back on track and it put someone in the gravel or something, and I felt really bad about that. And then
yeah, that was Thomas.
No, I think that was the second person. And then up through the third sector, Tom, I didn't make contact with him on my screen, but I'm running on 2 MBS, so I wouldn't be surprised if on his screen I hit him. But he didn't make contact with him. I thought he just spun, and then I came to the realization that maybe I had hit him on his screen. But yeah, the rest of the race, I felt like I was when I was the fastest on the track, and I was catching Drawmaster, and then things went back. What happened? I just couldn't find any pace at all. And then I found pace, and then I didn't, and it was on and off for the whole time trying to catch K, and then I had to focus on the guys behind, and right at the end there, like how tense that was. But yeah, that was absolutely insane. Like what a race, really. I hope it was entertaining for you two in the commentary box, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
It was entertaining to say the least. At the end there, as you'll probably hear if you watch it back, it was a bit of a shock, to be honest, when Drawmaster went for that move. But yeah, to confirm, that had, I'm not really sure. I mean, the first, if you want to call it incident, then we'll call it incident. But first, I guess we can call it that. Was with the Haas of, I think it must have been Pitcher and Matto. It was one of the Haas cars, I'm pretty sure, that you got into blows with. But anyway, good result for Alloy Motorsport. Ollie, back to you.
Yeah, we've got one question from for Melanie from Vapid. He is asking, will you dedicate the win to the watermelon?
Sure.
Does he dedicate all wins?
That's good enough of an answer.
Does he dedicate all wins to gingers? Because if the answer is yes, then... well,
Oh dear. Right. Anyway, I think that runs off for tonight's stream. Thank you very much for joining us for tonight's stream of SRL Season 6 of Tier 1. Congratulations to Menley, LK and Height for their podiums. Thank you, James, for joining me in the commentary box for tonight's race. I will have commentary of F2 on Xbox at 7 o'clock, Xbox Asia Pacific Trophy at 8, and PS4 F1 at 8:30 tomorrow. So you've got plenty of action to watch. Thank you for tuning in once again, and we'll see you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix.